Hello and welcome to the next installment of the Perfectly Spoken Advanced course. This is lesson 17 in the course, and it's on the subject of dependent prepositions. I'm Andy Nicol. I'm the course tutor, as I'll be doing this lesson again. This lesson is level C1 on the Common European Framework and IELTS 7 if you're more familiar with the IELTS scale. So, we're going to be looking today at the following. Firstly, nouns and dependent prepositions. Of course, I should explain what dependent prepositions are. Every noun, verb, or adjective, if it combines with a preposition, usually with a limited number of prepositions, sometimes only one, sometimes there are more than one option, depending on the meaning and so on. The second group we're looking at are, of course, adjectives, and then finally, verbs plus dependent prepositions. Okay, so let's start with nouns then. So nouns and dependent prepositions. Here's a little article we produced for Perfectly Spoken News a while back on the rise of smoking in the third world. I mean, despite government attempts, predominantly in the West and Europe and North America, to cut down on smoking. In the third world, actually smoking is on the increase, and actually globally, overall, there are more people smoking than ever before. So it's quite a worrying trend. Anyway, this is the article. And as you can see, there are a number of words which I've highlighted in bold. These are nouns with the corresponding prepositions: factor for, impact on, author of, research into, rise in, success in, number of, bans on, rise of, consensus on, subject of, and drop in. Okay, so if you can have a quick read of this text and try to remember the dependent prepositions, and then we'll have a look at some extracts. So I'll just give you a minute or two to look at this. You can, of course, pause the recording if you need more time to read it. Okay, so I'm back again. As I say, pause the recording if you need more time. And so let's have a look at some extracts from the text and see if you can remember the prepositions that go with each noun in this case. Okay, so the first one. There's still no consensus. Blank, the subject, blank, vaping. Vaping, of course, is the new trend in digital cigarettes, which is to try to get people to give up smoking real cigarettes. They're supposed to be far less harmful, although there's a lot of controversy about this, as you will have seen in the text. So, consensus, which preposition goes with consensus and which with subject? Well, the answer is consensus on and the subject of vaping. Vaping is responsible for a sizable drop here meaning a sudden reduction or decrease, and indeed both those words use the same preposition as well. So it's drop in, also reduction in, and decrease in as well. Okay. This research, blank, the rise, blank, smoking. Research into, the rise, again, this means increase. It's the opposite of drop, the rise in smoking, rise in smoking. And also similarly, we say an increase in smoking, an increase in smoking. Increase, that pronunciation is actually the verb, to increase something. An increase, stress on the first syllable, is the noun. Actually, this is often the case, actually, where we have a noun and a verb, which are the same word. The difference is in the pronunciation, where you put the stress. For example, an increase is a noun, and to increase, stress on the second syllable, is the verb. Similarly, a present is a noun, and to present is the verb. Okay, back to our sentences. Next one. This has been done in a number something ways. A number something ways. There are various examples of this noun and its preposition in the text. And the answer is of. A number of ways. Many different ways. A number of ways. And to further reduce its impact, something public health. So impact meaning the effect, which preposition combines with an impact? And the answer is on. Impact on public health. Okay, let's move to the next slide. And we've got some more examples. So, smoking remains the second highest risk factor. Which preposition goes with factor in this context? Pause the recording if you need time to think here. It's factor for early death and disability. Next one, and arguably the rise something vaping. Well, on the previous slide, we saw the rise in smoking, meaning an increase. Okay, an increase in, a rise in. Here, we're talking about rise, meaning from nothing to suddenly being everywhere, or suddenly being important or significant. So it's a different meaning, and the preposition is of. The rise of vaping, meaning vaping several years ago didn't exist, hardly anybody knew about it. Suddenly everybody's with e-cigarettes or whatever, so it's the rise of, from nothing to now being very significant. So different preposition for each one. Said Dr. Emanuela Gakidu, a senior author, something, the report. And the answer is of. Author of the report. Again, we would say that, for example, J.K. Rowling is the author of the Harry Potter books and so on. Person responsible for producing, for writing it, or whatever. Many countries have had significant success. Which preposition goes with success? And the answer is in. Success in helping people to stop smoking. And the last one, including bans, meaning making, when the government or council or whatever make things illegal, bans something smoking in public places, higher taxes and health education, etc. So a ban something smoking, meaning to make smoking in public places illegal, and the answer is on. A ban on smoking. Okay, so those are some examples of nouns plus prepositions. Now I want to look at adjectives. And again, we're going to continue the theme of health and smoking and addiction and all these different kinds of things. Okay, and so here's a little extract from the same text. However, countries like Canada refuse to do so, refuse to support vaping, despite studies which suggest that vaping is responsible for a sizable drop in the number of smokers. Responsible is an adjective, and the preposition that goes with responsible is for. Okay? Responsible for something. He's responsible for the catering at the wedding for producing all the food and so on. Responsible for. All right, so let's have a look at some examples, see if you can, if you know the preposition that's missing in each case. So the first one, increasing numbers of people in the third world are addicted something smoking. It could equally be chocolate, alcohol, whatever. Addicted, the preposition is to, addicted to something. Okay, next one. Tobacco companies try to get them hooked something, it from an early age. Hooked is a synonym of addicted, although it's slightly less formal, slightly more informal. So, and it has a different preposition. So tobacco companies try to get them hooked. Pause the recording if you need time to think. And the answer is on it. Hooked on, to get people from the third world, them hooked on smoking from an early age. I'm really proud something myself for giving up smoking. This is actually true. I used to smoke very heavily when I was younger and gave up when I was around about 30, 31 after many years. And I went cold turkey, in fact. I didn't use vaping or any kind of things to help me. So I feel very proud. Which preposition goes with proud? And the answer is of. Proud of myself. I'm very proud of my sister for passing her exams. I'm very proud of my parents, etc. Proud of somebody. Okay, next one. She'd stated on the dating website that she wasn't keen blank men who smoked. Nowadays, dating websites are very popular, Match.com and all these sort of things, for single men or women to find partners. So keen means if you're keen, then you like something. If you're not keen, you don't like. So she wasn't keen. What preposition goes with keen? And the answer is on. It means she didn't like men who smoked and she wasn't interested in them. It's another adjective preposition, interested in. Okay, next one. Being dependent, something, substances like alcohol and tobacco is one of the biggest problems in our society. What preposition goes with dependent? Pause the recording if you need to think, need some time. And the answer is on. You're dependent on something. Okay, let's move on and have a look at some other examples. We're really fed up. Fed up means we've had enough. We're really fed up. Something moralistic, anti-tobacco campaigns. There's all these anti-tobacco campaigns telling people how terrible smoking is, blah, blah, blah. We are really fed up. We've had enough. And the answer is with. Fed up with. Next one. There's a lot of information nowadays which is really helpful. What preposition goes with helpful? And the answer is for. Helpful for people who want to give up smoking. A growing number of people are obsessed something living a healthier lifestyle. This is, of course, true. You see increasing numbers of people going to the gym, eating healthily, working out. Obviously, this is a good thing, although people can be a bit too OTT, over the top with this, and can become obsessed with living a healthier lifestyle. Obsessed with. Next one. I'm sick something listening to my neighbour going on and on about how fit he is. Okay, sick here is very similar to fed up. You've had enough. Want him to stop talking about it. Shut up. Stop going on about it. I'm sick of listening to my neighbour. And the last one on these adjectives. I'm sure if you talk to her, she'd be open something, the idea of taking up yoga. In other words, it will be possible to persuade her to do it. She'll be open something, the idea. And the answer is two, open to the idea. She'd be willing to listen to you, or you may be able to convince her to do it. She's open to the idea. Okay, so we're going to look at verbs in a minute. But remember that, as I said, some nouns, adjectives, and verbs combine with one specific preposition. Others combine with more than one. Usually there's a difference. For example, the verb arrive, you'll be familiar with. You arrive at the hospital, arrive at the museum, at the train station, etc. For places, smaller places like that, places in the town, we use at. However, if you talk about a larger place, a city or a country, Paris, Italy, etc., is arrive in. My flight arrived in Paris at 10 o'clock in the morning, for example. Okay, so just be aware that you can sometimes have different prepositions, as we saw with rise before. Okay, so finally on this, we're going to look at some verbs and prepositions. Okay, so first of all, let's see if you can match the verb with the preposition. So we've got all these verbs here and the following prepositions: in, for, from, on, to, and with. So, first one, apologize. Stress on the second syllable. Apologize, 4 syllables. Apologize. Which preposition does apologize combine with? Pause the recording if you need to think. Actually, there are 2. You apologize for and you apologize to. You apologize for something. You apologize for breaking the vase or whatever. You apologize to somebody. Okay, I apologized. The manager apologized to the customers for the terrible service. So you apologize to a person for the bad thing that happened. Okay, next one is apply. In, for, from, on, to, or with. Again, there are 2 options here, and it's apply for and apply to. Can you think what the difference is? Apply for and apply to. Pause the recording if you need time to think. Well, you apply for something such as a job or a course at university. You apply to the place where you want to do it. So you apply to the university for the economics course, or you apply to the company for the job. Okay, so both these 2 prepositions are possible. Next one, benefit is from. You benefit from something. He really benefited from all the extra tuition he received, etc. Coincide. Coincide means to something that happens at the same time as something else. Which preposition goes with coincide? And the answer is coincide with. Then we've got concentrate. Concentrate. Try to concentrate something, your studies. Concentrate on. Confess means saying, I did it. Okay? If you commit a crime or something, you confess, you say, it was me. I stole the money, or I confess to something trivial like breaking something. You admit that you did it. You confess. Which preposition with confess? Confess to doing something. Okay, he confessed to, stealing the butter from the supermarket or whatever. Okay, confess to something. Confide. To confide means to tell your secrets to someone or to explain how you're feeling to another person because you trust them. And the answer is in. Confide in. You can confide in me. I won't tell anybody what your secrets are, okay? Congratulate. Congratulate is when someone has done something, has had an achievement, and you want to say how wonderful it is. You congratulate someone. Usually there's a direct object. You congratulate someone on something, okay? I'd like to congratulate you on, I don't know, passing your exams or whatever. Okay, depend. In my own the country where I live and work here in Catalonia in Spain, often people use the wrong preposition with this because they translate directly from their own language. And it's not of, it's in fact on. Depend on someone. Depend is the same as to rely. Okay, you expect somebody to do what they say they're going to do and you need their help. You depend on them. Okay, insist is also on. Pay is for. You pay for something, pay for a meal, etc. Plead. To plead is to ask somebody, to beg somebody to do something. You plead. Well, I'm going to disappear because you can't see this. It's with. You plead with someone. Please, please give me the job. He pleaded. Yes, you pleaded. You plead with someone to do something. React. React is to. Refer. Also to. Refer to. I refer you to the reply I gave some moments ago. Refrain, meaning to avoid doing something. Refrain from. Can you refrain from shouting in class? Meaning, can you stop doing it? Refrain from it. Don't do it. Result. In. Specialize. In. And suffer from. Okay, so let's look at some examples quickly. So complete the sentences. I have to apologize. Something my teacher, something not paying attention in class. Remember, apologize, there are two prepositions. You apologize to the person for what you did. Okay, apologize to my teacher for not paying attention in class. We might go to the party tonight. It depends. Pause the recording if you need to think. It depends on who else is going. She confided something me that she suffers something arthritis. Arthritis is that illness that affects your inflammation of your joints, your wrists, etc., your fingers. And the answer is confided in me that she suffers from arthritis. He wants to specialize blank forensic medicine as part of his law degree. Specialize in. Specialize in something. And number 5, she congratulated him. Remember, congratulate normally has an object. She congratulated him on passing his driving test. It seems he benefited from those extra lessons. And lastly, and that's the last page, last slide, they insisted something paying something our meal. Okay, you went to a restaurant with some friends and it says, no, we'll get it, let us pay for it. Oops, I've given you the answer. Yes, they insisted on paying for our meal. Okay, next one. Again, apply is a verb which has two different prepositions. One is the course or the job that you want to do. The other is the place, the university or the company or whatever. To apply to the university for a place on the economics course. Number 8, could you refrain, meaning could you please stop? Refrain, which preposition? From. Okay, could you refrain from making so much noise? It's quite a polite way of saying, could you please shut up, stop making so much noise, okay? I can't concentrate on what I'm doing. The boy confessed, said it was me, I did it. The boy confessed to taking the money from her purse. Purse is the little small little bag thing that usually women carry money in, and pleaded not to call the police. Please don't call the police, don't. Pleaded with her not to call the police. And the last one. How would you react to something in the news that we were having a celebration to coincide something the 100th anniversary of the school to happen at the same time? The answer is react to and coincide with. Okay, so that's it for this lesson on dependent prepositions. I hope you found it very useful. In the next lesson, we're going to look at the following, lesson 18, hypothetical meaning number 2. We've already looked at this in lesson 16. So this is a continuation of lesson 16, lesson 18. And we're going to look at the following, the use of wish plus would. Wish, we looked at wish plus past simple to talk about the present and the future. I wish I had enough money to buy a new car, etc. Wish plus would is used to criticize either yourself or other people for bad habits, etc. For example, I wish she would stop leaving her clothes lying around the flat, or I wish he would stop singing, or I wish I would stop biting my nails, or whatever. It's to either criticize someone else or to criticize yourself. Okay, next one, it's time plus past simple, meaning it's something that should be done now, if not, should have been done before, but must be done now. And I'd rather, meaning I'd prefer, plus past simple. Okay, so thanks very much. I hope you can tune in to the next lesson on hypothetical meaning, wish, it's time, I'd rather, etc. Okay, thanks a lot and speak to you very soon. Bye-bye for now.